Let's see.
Hello.
Hi! Oh my goodness, it's working.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Setting up my light real quick. I realized I didn't have my volume on, so I couldn't hear anything, which
Oh,
wasn't doing
okay.
good.
No, you come through to me. Okay, so
This is
it's
exciting.
working. This is awesome. We've been running behind today because my husband had a nap and I needed a shower, and then we had to go get food because we didn't want to make anything, and so I was like shoving fries in my mouth in the car, and I had to put the baby down, so we just barely made it in the nick of time. How's
It's
your
not one
day?
thing, it's another.
How's your day been? Well, we're
Pretty good. Just doing the work thing. So came home, made some dinner, and then worked on my sweater a little bit. And now we're here.
Now we are here. Now we're here. Welcome, welcome. We have a couple of people who've joined us. Are you guys working on anything while we're podcasting over here?
I love throwing videos on and just like knitting in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Or crocheting.
Yeah, I can't. Hi, dearest. I can't ever like crochet or knit without anything on in the background, like a book or a video or anything. But on the flip side, I can't ever watch anything without crocheting or knitting at the same time either. So
Yes, I have a hard time watching TV and not doing anything with my hands. I just don't know what to do with them.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm a bad waiter now. But I guess I'd rather be crocheting or knitting than like scrolling Facebook or something.
For sure.
So a little bit more productive. Awesome. Well, do you want to get started with our podcast?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. I guess maybe we should share a little bit about ourselves in case there's someone watching who only follows one or the other of us.
Yeah, that sounds good. Do you want to go first?
Sure. My name is, sorry, my head is like a little bit cut off, so I'm like, should I like move or something? Let me see if I can get it angled a little better. Okay. I don't know if that's any better. My name is Emily, and I am the maker and designer behind Crochet Creations. And I've been crocheting since I was about 9 or 10 years old, but I recently decided to start designing my own patterns about like a year and a half ago or so. I took that next step and I recently learned how to knit. I don't think I'll be designing anything, but I've been loving broadening my skills that way recently. And currently we're living in California for my husband's job. We're here actually until next October. So.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was only going to be for 6 months, and then they extended us an offer this past week. So we're going to stay an extra year, which is exciting.
Are you excited about that?
We are excited, yeah. We're ready to be like totally settled and like have a permanent job, but this is still good for the interim.
Yeah, that is, I mean, at least that's a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
6 months almost, it's enough to get settled and then pick back up and head out again.
True. So yeah. And we like have an apartment lined up and everything that we'll move into. So we'll be able to settle in for like a good year, which is nice. So that's where we're from now. And I have a little girl who is 10 months old. Her name's Georgia.
She's so cute.
She is, but I'm partial. And then I have a cat named Alfred. You might end up seeing him if he decides to cross in front of me on my desk. But so that's me.
I'm Jessica, JS Threads, and I've been crocheting. My mom taught me when I was basically a child. I was maybe, I don't know, like 6 or so. And, doing basically straight lines of things, and that was the extent of what I could do.
Uh-huh.
I picked it back up in college. In fact, I have my very first amigurumi still somewhere in this apartment, and they're trash.
Mine was too.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yep.
And then it actually was something that I would do on and off until more seriously, like January of last year is when I started diving back into fiber. I learned how to knit in college. Again, my mom taught me what to do. And then I sculpted for a long time. I don't know if I
Oh,
probably didn't follow you
yeah.
until I started doing more fiber, but I sculpted dragons for
Mm-hmm.
like 5 years or so.
So
And
cool.
I kind of got burnt out on it, and fiber's always been something that I've been passionate about. So that's kind of when I dove back in, and then I dove in hard.
Yep.
Yep. Didn't have any like hand dyed yarn until basically a year ago ish, a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and then I jumped all in.
Can't go back now, huh?
Yep. And here we are.
Very cool. That's so funny because I learned when I was younger, and I definitely played around with yarn, but I wasn't really until college that I picked it back up again.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think for me, it was more like I was really craving that creative outlet. You know, you're going to college, you've moved away for the first time, things are stressful, and just having that like little outlet that doesn't, I mean, you can do it in a way that it doesn't take up a lot of space in a dorm room either. You can just have a few
Yeah.
skeins of yarn and a couple crochet hooks and have enough to at least play around with some things. And I think that was a really big thing for me in college.
Yeah, that's cool. It wasn't really till the end of college. Well, okay, I remember I made an ex-boyfriend a scarf once. And other than that, it was like my last semester of college that I like really started like picking up momentum.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was like the creativity part of it. Like I really needed an outlet and something that I could be doing because I had
Hmm.
rigorous schoolwork. I was newly married at that point. I just needed like a different outlet for
For
myself.
sure.
So, yay, yarn. Awesome. So, ooh, we have some more people joining us. Hello, Sinful Yarns. Um, so do we want to start on recently finished objects?
Sure. I have a half FO, but I figure it counts enough to share.
Well, perfect. I'd love to see it.
Do you want me to go first?
I have two, so maybe I go first and then
Okay.
you can go next just to kind of alternate it a little bit. Okay,
That
so
sounds
the
good.
first one I'm wearing because I'm so proud. I just finished
Oh,
it. It's a little hard to see. Let me see if I can show. It's a new scarf design.
oh, it's so pretty.
So it's it's an infinity scarf cowl thing. So it's made with a yoke, and then I do like the front panel, and basically, it's based on my endless summer scarf. That's like a nursing cover poncho. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted something in worsted weight, and I decided to reimagine the engineering of like how I constructed it. So now there's like less extra fabric, and it's really just like this is enough so you could, cover yourself if you were feeding a baby, but that it like is just a regular scarf. There's no like extra fabric on the back or anything. And
Okay. So
yeah.
does it just kind of like go around the neck and basically that's it?
Yep, I can take it off and kind of show you. But yeah, so it's just like
Okay.
I made a yoke. I attach buttons so you can kind of cinch it up to make it more like a cowl, like closer to your neck. But if you were gonna use it to like cover yourself more, then you could just like let it out a little bit, and
Oh,
it's
that's so
more
clever.
like a sweater almost.
Cute.
Yeah. So I'm super proud of it. Like, because I was proud of my endless summer scarf and like how I kind of made it work. But this one I'm like especially proud of, like, because I feel like it is like 2.0, the next version. So
Mhm.
I'm doing my testing call for this pattern in a week.
That's
But,
exciting.
but yeah, so that's like my recently finished object. And I just sewed on the buttons today. So I'm like, I've been wearing it because I'm just so proud.
I really like the choice of yarn and buttons too. I feel like it just looks so professional. I don't mean that to say that other things don't look professional, but it just looks like super chic. It's
Yeah.
really
Oh,
cute.
thank you. Yeah, this is in Malabrigo Rios yarn, so it's like their worsted weight line. And the color is PA dress. So it took just about 2 skeins, a little bit less than that. So it's a really good like 2 skein project, which I'm really pumped about. That'll make it easy. And then yeah, I just got the buttons from my local yarn shop today, so I don't know if there wasn't like a brand or anything. but
Right.
nice and woodsy and like for the fall.
Yeah.
So yeah,
This is very fall. I love it.
thank you. Okay, your turn. Show me what your half finished object is.
So I call it a half finished object. I guess it's more of like a 12th finished object, and that's because it's a square of the Traveling Seasons Afghan that I've been working on. And that's
Oh,
like year-long series that's hosted by Lion Brand and Whistle and Wolf. And so I'm a couple of squares behind, but I finished my July square. In fact, it's still a little damp because
you're
I
blocking.
have been blocking it, but it's a pencil applique.
Cute. Oh my
I should
goodness.
have wrote down the designer for this particular square, but basically every month is a different designer.
Mhm.
And then I'm also using yarn that I dyed for this blanket, and each row is a different season. And so this is my first fall season block.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so
Yeah,
cool.
see, I think there's now 2 more squares, and then it'll be on to winter already, which is hard to believe.
That is crazy.
So I'm behind, but we'll get caught up at some point. But I'm really liking the drape. Like one of the things that I love about knitting versus crochet is you just get a drape your fabric, and it makes sense when you think about how crochet and knit differ in their construction.
Yeah.
But this blanket, I've had to use larger crochet hooks, and I'm getting this beautiful, like almost knit-like drape. And
Yeah.
it makes me have hope for crochet. Maybe I just need to play with my crochet hooks a little bit more, and maybe not necessarily do the gauge that the pattern calls
Yeah.
for.
I never follow the gauge on yarn labels, but then yeah, that's another thing with the pattern itself. Because I mean, people are just used to like how a certain fabric is for crochet, but it could be more.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very cool. That is so cool. And the fact that you're not like all the way caught up, but you're pretty impressively caught up for like having it be a long-term project. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say that because it's a block, it's easy to pick up and just like hammer out in a few hours. This
Mhm.
one took a little bit longer because it was all single crochet, I think, and then it was a solid block. But some of them, I mean, some of the patterns are beautiful textured like stitches that I would just love to make other things with. Gorgeous stuff. So,
It's so cool, like a stitch sampler.
yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Sinful Yarns asks, how long have you guys been crocheting for? So we both learned when we were little. I learned I was around 9 or 10, so it's been like 17 or 18 years now for me.
Yeah, I learned as a kid too. But I'll say that it's probably been the last 10 to 12 years that I've done it more consistently. So I'll call it there.
Yeah. That's probably good. If I was gonna say like my actual consistent like yarn consumption has been only the past like maybe 3 or 4 years. So yeah. Okay, my last finished object is a pair of socks.
Ooh.
They're a little bit wonky because there's like pearl rows, and so it's almost like a little bit ribbed, and there's like cabling in the
Okay.
stitches. And so like the shaping of the sock when it's not on a foot looks a little bit like really long and skinny, but it's like a child size sock. So it's a little big for my daughter, but she has super chunky feet. So like they fit width wise, but they're too long on her, so she'll grow into it, I think. But yeah, this is a test for Rosie Birch Designs, the Madeira sock
Okay.
later this month, but it's got like just this cute little cabling detail, which was
Yeah.
actually kind of fun to like get into the rhythm of. It was my first cabling project, so I'm happy that I could get it figured out. And yeah, I used Emma's yarn in the color Elephant as picked by my husband. So this was like leftover waste yarn from his socks that I made him.
Okay. I was wondering, that sounded familiar.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
So I made him shorties, and so it only used maybe like 55 or like 60 grams. So I had a lot left over. So then I made Georgia socks, and I still have like 25 grams left
Oh
of
my
yarn.
gosh.
So I could definitely do a contrast for a sock for me or something, and we could all
That
have
would be
socks.
so cute.
Yeah.
Have like a series for everyone.
And it works out really well, like with the amount of yarn that I have. So we shall see what I end up doing with the rest of that yarn. But yeah, more socks. I need to start another pair. I don't have any on my needles right now. But
I have let's see. I guess I've done 3 full pairs of socks now. And I have one that I started like a couple months ago or so, and I finished one, but then I was so eager to cast on, oh, it was the Autumn Gold Pumpkin, that it was a pattern that came out like a month ago, and I immediately I bound off those socks so quickly just so I could cast on that pumpkin like the day the pattern released. And I need to go back and actually finish the second sock because
Get started. Yeah.
it's just a sad, lonely sock right now.
Oh no. Have you not started the second one at all then? Uh-oh,
Nope.
that's a problem. See, I always, whenever I bind off on one sock, I start the other sock like that same day, or else I know it's not going to get started. And if I don't start it, then I'll never actually make it. So that's like the hardest part.
You know, I'm hoping I don't have the same thing happen. I don't think I'll wait too much longer, but the pumpkin was worth it.
Yeah. And you cranked that out. So fun. Oh my goodness. Okay, do we want to talk about whips?
Sure. I have at least 3 that I could share depending on how we're doing for time. So
Okay. I have a few. I feel like lives maybe cut off at an hour.
that's what it used to be. I haven't done a live in a while, so I don't know if that's still the case, but I know it used to be an hour.
Okay, we can plan on that. Just to kind of, yeah, I should have looked it up before we started. But
We'll find out.
yeah, if someone knows, you can share. But if we get cut off, then that's what happens. Okay, well, you can go ahead.
Okay, I will start with my sweater. So this is the Superstitious Pullover by Michael Shawn, and I've been working on it for a couple of months now. But I have the body done, which was not the case with my last podcast. I'm trying to crank through it because I really want to wear this. I wanted to be done this month. It's all tangled up, but I think I'm gonna need the month to finish it, especially because now I'm on sleeves and they're not fitting the way I want them to. So
We'll have to rip it back. Bummer.
But do this. Here's what I have.
Wow, that is so cool.
So right now
It's so cool. You can like choose like what motifs you want to use, like what stitch patterns.
Yeah, so it was really cool. Like, I mean, it's like a recipe style pattern essentially. I mean, he tells you like what to do where, but a lot of these charts end up taking the same amount of space, so it was super easy for me to like outside of these are the witches from Hocus Pocus, and outside of them there was like a cat option and like a bat. I think there were a couple different icons you could have used for this section, but basically they all took up like, I don't know, 13 stitches. So you could swap them in and out as you want. So I did all 3 witches. And then there's another line of color work underneath. And again, there were like 3 different charts that you could have used for this line, and I combined 2. So that says spooky. And then there is a bat and a broom that's part of a chart. And they all took up like 26 stitches. And so I was able to just alternate around my yoke. And then I did a whole bunch of cobwebs. And then there's another chart that you could do Hocus Pocus in lettering here. But I decided I like color work on the yokes versus like the whole sweater.
Yeah.
So I decided to stop my color work after my yoke. And then I did my sleeve split. Finished my body. And then I'm now working on this, and I think I'm gonna have to, let's see, this is the one I was working on. And I think I'm gonna have to tear it out and go back up a little bit and do, I'm having to decrease a lot faster than the pattern calls for because I like having more of an underarm area versus like having it cinch into my armpit.
Yeah.
So I dropped my yoke a bit, and now I have to decrease a lot more rapidly than that calls for. So just trying to find that sweet spot of making it work for me.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
But,
well, once you get like it figured out, then like it should be smooth sailing because you're done with the color work, right? So
yeah, I think there's some at the cuff still, but I'm thinking about doing a 3/4 cuff instead of, or 3/4 sleeve, or, yeah, 3/4 instead of a full sleeve, just because I think that looks really cute. And sleeves, I like the look of long sleeves, but they get in my way. And so I think a 3/4 will be a nice solution to having that look, but not having them
Yeah,
on
I
my
mean, like I have long sleeves that I rolled up right now because I never have my sleeves down. So I
exactly.
feel
I
you.
know that I'd just be shoving them up, so
Yeah.
so
Can you
that's
see the chat, Jess?
uh
Or is it just me that can see it?
I do see the chat, although it was stopped
Angie
moving.
said that it's that you have a cute sweater. So I
Thank
just wanted to make
you.
sure you saw that because I agree.
Yeah, I've been wanting to make this sweater since Michael Sean did the testing call last year, and I was so tempted to apply for the test, but I knew that my skills just weren't there. So this is my first colorwork project. I know you and I were talking about colorwork the other day,
Mhm.
and it's gone okay.
It's looking really good.
It's not perfect, but you know what? I'm proud of it. So
Yeah. If it's good enough that you'll still wear it proudly, then like that's great. That's kind of the
yeah,
goal, right? It doesn't need to be perfect, but
for sure.
something that you love. That's awesome. I want to do something color work, but we shall see what I do. I
I think
might,
that pearls and hats are a really good place to start. Like that's
yeah.
what a lot of people were recommending when I was doing research. So.
Mhm. I have a colorwork sock pattern by Penrose Knits, the cornicette socks that like really caught my eye, and I even have yarn I want to use for it, but I don't know if like I should start with something like smaller, like where there's less color work rather than switching every couple stitches.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So,
And I feel like socks can get tricky real quick because it's already such a tight, like you already want socks to be tighter,
mhm.
and then doing color work in a sock just, I feel like that throws off or could throw off the
Yeah.
construction of the sock.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily like comfortable enough with sock yarns to know like what my gauge will be just like knitting a vanilla sock. I'm getting there. I've made a handful of socks, but I think I need to make a few more before I really know like, oh, this kind of yarn, like I'll definitely get a gauge with a 2 or with a 1.
I know like Nitty Natty and Kay, they know that it's 75/25 and it's gonna be that size of needle because they just know, and I'm like, how do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for real. That's the goal. I want to be able to like know exactly what I want to do for my socks. I'm getting there. It takes practice.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, I will share. I don't, speaking of color work hats, I don't have a color work hat, but I have a hat on my needles right now. I started it yesterday just because I wanted to, but it's a little beanie for my daughter.
Aw.
So it's like a double brim beanie. So that was a new skill I did.
Ooh,
Um,
is it like sewed together too?
I
Or is
knit
it
it
just sewn together?
together.
That's
So
awesome. Sorry. Yeah, knitting.
I don't know how it's normally done, but in the pattern, I wrote it down. It's the Toddler Double Brim Beanie by Anna Ivleva. She's on Ravelry, and that's where I found the pattern. I was like, this is exactly what I need. I don't have to do the math. I can just follow the pattern. But her pattern is more like a recipe. So it
Mm.
involves a little bit more thinking. And the way that she did her brim was like sewing it or was like crocheting. It's something weird. And I was like, I don't want to have to switch like what I'm doing. I was like, I'm just going to figure it out and like knit it together. And it works. so,
It
so I got
looks
my brim
great.
done. And I've got maybe like an inch of the body. I'm using this yarn.
Mm. Cute.
It's a Premier Yarns like DK, like acrylic yarn.
Hmm.
That my mom made a baby blanket for my grandma, or wait, my mom made a baby blanket for my daughter, for her granddaughter, out of this yarn. And then she gave me the leftover, like 2 skeins of it. So I've made my daughter a sweater. I crocheted her a sweater not too long ago. I have more. So I figured I would make a hat. Maybe I'll make some mittens. Um,
Oh, cute. Have a little set.
yeah, because we'll have Christmas in Utah this year. So you'll need
Fun.
some cold weather stuff.
For sure.
So I was just feeling like I've been staring at the yarn and I wanted to make a hat. So it's like, I'm just going to do it. Yesterday was my like, just do what I want when I want kind of day. And it was refreshing. So I started that project.
And it should work out pretty quickly for it being a child's hat. So
Yeah.
that'll be a satisfying project.
Yes. Need to kind of like break up the big things with little things for sure. And mostly mindless too, because it's just like a simple stockinette beanie. So
Yeah, because you'll probably do what, like a certain amount of length and then start your decreases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Cool.
pretty simple, pretty easy, which is nice sometimes.
Yes, yes, it is for sure.
Yeah. Okay, show me your next one.
Okay, so I still have it. It's still fitting in my super fun fall project bag. Probably won't fit too much longer, but for now it will, so I'm running with it. And this is a warning to anyone here because this is a mystery crochet along. So if you don't want to look away.
Shield your
And
eyes.
I'll say something when I'm done showing it, but this is the Lift Your Spirits Mystery Crochet Along by Mando Bug, and it's ghost themed. And
So cute. Oh my goodness, those ghost faces.
so there's a couple of new things that I'm trying with this project, and one of it is beading. I've never beaded in crochet or knitting before.
Oh, okay.
So there's a bead rows that outline the ghost, and they're glow in the dark. So under a black light, they are bright green.
So cool.
And then this is a pretty complex written pattern, and so I decided it would be a good opportunity for me to try to learn how to read charts. Because
Oh,
I've seen charts and like I get what they kind of do, but I've never really tried making a pattern from a chart, and they still
that's a
confuse
lot.
me a little bit. So I'm challenging myself to work off of the chart for this, and so far so good. So
Awesome.
I'm on clue 2. There's 6 clues. I'm gonna put it down now. So if you didn't want to see it, it is off the screen.
That's the time to get back.
Um, and it'll be done mid-October, so I'll be able to wear it. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do. There's 2 sizes that it calls for, and I originally, because the full size takes 5 skeins of fingering weight yarn, which is a lot of yarn, and I didn't want to necessarily get that much yarn, and I was going to try and maybe do like a modification for an in-between size.
Mhm.
So we'll see. I think after clue 3 is released on Friday, I'll know enough of what the pattern's gonna look like to make that decision. I may make the full thing. I may modify it. I haven't quite decided yet.
Yeah, that is so cool. I've never participated in like a make along, like a mystery make along, or like a
Mhm.
where you're trying to like keep up with the like clues or parts of the pattern. I've never done something like that before, but that sounds so cool.
You know, it's really fun to see the different versions other people are making. Like some of them are working with bulky yarn to make this like gigantic like wall hanging.
Wow.
And some people are doing different colored beads and all sorts of interesting, like they're going in the complete circle to make like a table drape type
Oh, okay.
thing. But it is really fun to see that. But also, I'm exhausted with trying to keep up with the posts.
Yeah,
So I've kind of checked out the Facebook. I was much more involved last week, but this week I've kind of checked out a little bit
you need to
because there's
step away.
a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, but it's been fun. And I really like the designer. I've been watching her stuff on YouTube, and she just finished like a Nightmare Before Christmas inspired cardigan, which was beautiful.
Mhm.
Um, so it's just been fun getting exposed to another designer that I wouldn't have known about without seeing this project on Ravelry.
That's so cool. That is so cool. I need to join some kind of like make along. I've been like casually like I'll throw a hashtag on like an Instagram post if I know one that's like relevant, but I haven't really like dug into like the community aspect of it, which would be cool.
Yeah, yeah, I think they have their positives and negatives. Not necessarily negatives. It's the wrong word, but they can get overwhelming really quickly.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I'm working on a Halloween make too.
Ooh.
Oh, my stitch marker is not. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. It doesn't look like much right now. It's a sweater.
A what?
A sweater.
Oh, okay.
And this light is like really white, but it's the yarn is black, and then I have some. Let me just pull out the other one, and I have some purple yarn too.
Ooh, that's a gorgeous combination.
So very Halloween-esque. And so this is the Seriously Soft Sweater by Stephanie Aaron. It's made with Her version is with Surrey alpaca, but this is some Feza opulent. It's a silk merino and kid mohair blend yarn. So it's a lace weight pattern, and I'm hoping it blooms because it's a little bit holey, but I guess I could always wear like something underneath it pretty easily. But yeah, so I've just started and it's taking forever. Just because it's like lace weight, and um so yeah, I need to like set up like a schedule for myself to keep myself on track, or else I won't finish by Halloween, and that would be kind of sad. Um so yeah, I'm planning on fading from the black into the purple. So
Okay. I was gonna ask what your plans for the color were.
yeah, so I'm gonna kind of split it up into like four sections lengthwise, like from top to bottom, and then like I'll do one section of black, one section of like 2-to-1 black and purple alternating, and then one section of like purple and black alternating 2-to-1, and then the last section will be just purple. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So we'll see how it all turns out. But but yeah, I need to get my butt on like setting deadlines for myself so I can actually wear it for Halloween, because that would be sad if I didn't get a chance to. But
It would be. Is it just one strand held by itself and then you're
yeah,
just
it is. So it's a very different crocheting experience than I'm used to. So it's a really easy pattern to follow. Like there's no crazy stitches. Like it's really just about the yarn. So that's been nice in that it's like mindless, but also very unique project compared to what I've ever done before. So that's been kind of fun. And it's been my back burner, like right before I go to bed project for the past week or so, but I need to, I think, take more time to work on that, make it all happen.
build it up?
Yeah, but yeah, I have like 10 skeins of this like lace weight yarn that before I really understood like fiber contents or like or even like weights, like what I like to work with or whatnot. I just saw all that yarn like on clearance or something somewhere, and so I just picked it all up because I was like, oh, I could probably make something with this. And then like there's like no patterns out there for just mohair, and I didn't really like working with it either, and like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like I wasn't feeling inspired. Like I was just kind of like, it was during my yarn accumulation phase of life when I just kind of was like, oh, I see yarn, let me buy it. And so now I have a project for it, which I'm excited about. But
Really exciting. Yeah, I haven't worked with mohair. I have plans to in the, I'll say near future, but it'll probably be like a year from now, if we're gonna be
yeah,
honest. But it seems like it's becoming really popular, or it's been popular and continuing to be popular to hold it with like a strand of regular fingering weight
yeah,
and giving it that like halo.
mm-hmm,
But I've
yeah,
heard that it's a big pain to pull apart.
yeah. I
Which
mean,
is
this has been a little bit, and I guess it just depends on how you pull. I haven't had like really bad snags, but I had one time where I had to pull back a row, and it was very stressful, but it worked out okay. So
well, that's good. At least
yeah.
no horror stories yet.
No horror stories. Thank goodness. Do you have any more whips to share?
Yes, I have more that I can share. And I was gonna hold this in case we ran out of time because I've shared it every week for like 9 months now. But I'll share it. It's so my mom and I have been working on the Jimmy Bean's 2020 craft event.
That's so cool that you're doing that with your mom.
Yeah, like every Saturday we knit like for I don't know 2 to 3 hours. I mean it's a long time. And we just work on our Tidings to You wrap by Amy Gunderson. And it's basically a yarn sampler of a whole bunch of the Madeline Tosh Light, I think is the yarn.
Yeah.
And the light, of course, doesn't do it justice, but the colors, it was honestly the colors of this wrap that really got me. And they just released or teased this year's, and it's just, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are you gonna do it
so
again?
I think so. My dad, he's always looking for stuff to get for Christmas, and he said my mom has been enjoying, and I have been too, that this has been a fun project for him to see because we'll do Zoom lives because we live a few hours apart. And he'll come and chat, and we'll just kind of have like several hours of just talking and knitting, and it's been really fun to have that throughout the year, especially as we're still in the middle of a pandemic.
Mhm. That is so fun. Oh my goodness. I've loved that. So my mom crochets as well, but she learned after I learned. So I didn't learn from her. I learned from some lady at church, but she has recently gotten into crochet and like the fiber arts, and like we'll go to local yarn stores together. And so it's like really special to share that with my mom. So
Mhm.
I totally understand why that would be like such a cool experience, especially like a weekly date with your mom to Zoom and
Right.
chat, and that's so fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, yeah. So I think we're gonna do it again this year, but we keep joking about how maybe we'll be done in time for next year's, but I don't think we will. We still have quite a bit left to go. So
That's cool though. That's so cool. I have one last little whip. It's a little whip. Um, this is the beginning of a front panel for a sweater I'm designing, or I guess
oh
like a tee I'm designing. It's made with velvet yarn.
yeah, it looks
Um,
super soft.
Yeah, it is. I don't know how it'll drape because with the velvet yarn, you have to be really tight with your gauge so it doesn't like worm and kind of go all over the place. But it'll be really comfy. So yeah, I'm just making like a boxy tee pattern with some velvet yarn I have. I've just wanted to make this for a long time, and I'm finally working on it. And my
Cute.
math is right, so like I don't have to rip it back, and I just need to put lots of time in because this is the very beginning and I need to make a whole t-shirt. So we'll see if that is a pattern that comes out anytime this year or not. So,
Are you looking at making it like front panel, back panel, and then seam it together? Is that kind of
yeah.
what you're?
Yeah. And probably just leave it cap sleeve because it's oversized, but we'll see how it fits, I guess. Um, I'm still kind of figuring out as far as like positive ease goes, like with 4 inches of positive ease, like how will that look on my bust? How will that look as far as like being capsulated? Like I'm just, still trying to learn a little bit more. So yeah,
Hmm.
we shall see.
It is looking awesome so far.
Thank
Is
you.
it just like you said it was crochet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just like a single crochet stitch, or are you doing anything fun with the stitch
It's
pattern
like,
or?
I wonder if I could show it, if it like how well it'll show up. But it's my sweet pea, like
Oh,
stitch pattern. So it's
right.
got a little bit more texture. It's like a single crochet, half double crochet, and a double crochet, like alternating. So I think it's
I
called the
love
sedge
that.
stitch, is what someone told me. But yeah, so it just gives it a little bit more texture, but still pretty like flat and closed stitching. So yeah.
I love that stitch pattern. That's actually how I found you. Was your testing call for the skirt?
Mm-hmm.
That's the very first. That's the very first time I saw your design, and I was like, I gotta test that.
And now you've tested it multiple times for me. You've tech edited for me. It's been awesome. I love yarny friends.
I know, and I don't have anyone local, so it's nice to have like an online community to really dig into.
I agree. I agree. Man, it'd be so cool to meet, but you're like, what, Washington? Yeah.
Yep, it's quite the drive from California.
Yep. Yep. Maybe one day we'll run into each other. Still got a lot of life left. So,
It would be really fun to go like I know people are talking Rhinebeck because that's coming up. And I don't know, I mean maybe someday, but that's quite a trek too, even plane.
yeah.
But I don't know if there's like a Rhinebeck equivalent on the West
A
Coast,
West
but it'd be
Coast
fun.
big thing. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've only recently I didn't even know what Rhinebeck was until I heard people talking about it, and I was like, what is
Mm.
this? So I'm sure that there's more like yarn conventions and like big groups and things that meet up post pandemic.
Right.
when things kind of get all sorted out that I can look forward to. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day we'll meet in person. That'd be so fun.
Yes, that would be so much fun.
Until then, we can be online yarn friends.
Yes, I agree.
Awesome. Well, I'm done with my whips. You have some recent acquisitions, I think.
I do. So we took a trip to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho over the weekend, and it's this like basically a resort on a lake, and it's a pretty big touristy area, but it's really beautiful, and we lucked out with the weather. It was smoky while we were driving in. It's been awfully smoky. I'm sure you know very well.
Uh-huh.
But it rained Friday night, and so it cleared, and the rest of the weekend was absolutely beautiful and like 70 degrees, and just like couldn't have asked for perfect weather. But there's a local yarn store there, and I picked up some things.
That's so fun.
So
Part of your souvenirs.
yes, that's kind of like, I've been jealous of people like going traveling and buying things from yarn stores. I'm like, that's a great idea. I'm gonna start doing that too. Not that I was going a whole lot of places, but
now when you do go places.
yes, you best believe that was the first thing I looked up when we decided we were going to Coeur d'Alene, was where the yarn stores were. So this first one is, we were talking about it, Malabrigo Rasta. I couldn't help but pick some up while we were there, and this is the Archangel colorway.
Ooh.
Purpley, orangey, pinkish
That's
color.
Like sunsetty.
Yeah, it's
like
gorgeous. They had a whole bunch of Malabrigo, and I bought this because there's a crush brim hat that I made. I think it was actually probably last year now. It's been a while. But I struggled really hard with getting the gauge, and it didn't quite fit me when I was done, even though I like locked it to the point that I was probably risking ripping the yarn. I ended up giving it to my mom because she has a smaller head, so it fit her better. But I'm gonna hack the pattern and reevaluate and just make some modifications so that it can fit me. And I thought this would be a really pretty color. So
hopefully it works. That would look really good with like your hair and your skin tone, I think. Really nice.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. I'm bummed because I really liked the original color too. It was like a teal and bluish kind of mix. But it should be pretty easy to hack. I think it's just as long as I have an increased number and a certain count, I can just add on an extra section. So, but there's the time thing that's a problem.
Hopefully that works.
Yes. And then I bought 2 skeins. It was really cool. This dyer sells exclusively to this yarn shop, but they actually dye out of Coeur d'Alene. So they had so many beautiful colors that I just, like, it was hard choosing. And I ended up getting 2 skeins of this. See, it's a DK tweed and a one-of-a-kind colorway called Galaxy.
Oh.
And I bought 2 skeins because I'm going to make some socks, I think. Kay had those DK socks she keeps raving.
Oh, that would be so cozy. And with the tweed too, that's just like so cozy.
Yeah, so the dyer is Idaho Fibers. So
very cool. I haven't heard of them. Very cool.
Yeah, they looked like they were pretty small. Like they exclusively, I mean, she said that's basically the only place that they sell to is in this shop. And then I also want to show the shop included these really cute stitch markers. This is gonna be super hard to show. But they're little hearts.
Oh, and they got the ring on them, so you can just
so they just pop open.
Cute.
So anyway, that is my little haul.
Fun. That's so fun. I went to the yarn store today as well. Not because of the podcast, though it works out well that I can share what I got. But I got these buttons so I could finish this pattern. And then I wanted to work up this pattern one more time before I finalize it for testers, because after I constructed it, I guess I realized that I wanted my seam from joining the rounds to be in a different location to be able to add the loops, like as I crocheted the yoke rather than adding them on afterwards. And so that meant I had to like rework all like the numbers, and it was just too much for my brain to handle, like just trying to like move things around and make sure I had my increases correct. And so I just figured I'll make a second one and I'll like work through the pattern one more time and make sure I have all my stitches where they belong. So I got some more Malabrigo Rios.
Oh my gosh.
Like this,
Oh, I love that color.
yeah, this teal. It's like almost like a tonal color, but you can see there's definitely a variation. I don't remember the colorway. Let me see. It's called Solace. Solis. I don't know if I need to pronounce it with an accent or not. But so yeah, so that's that. And
Oh my gosh.
I had a really hard time picking yarn today because I wanted to make sure if I made another scarf that it would be colors I would actually want to wear.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was having such a hard time that I just decided I'm gonna get yarn that I think my mom would enjoy. So I'm gonna make the scarf for her. um, even though she wouldn't be using it like in the like nursing sense, she'll still I think enjoy it as like a cowl. And these are definitely her. This is definitely her color, and I think that she would really enjoy wearing something like this, and then being able to tell people that I made it for her. I think she would enjoy that. So, so I think that'll be her Christmas present, maybe, as I work through the pattern. So I got that, and then since I bought yarn for my mom, I figured I should buy yarn for myself too. Like, and so, oh, and I didn't share. It's Uncommon Threads is the name of the yarn store, and it's in Los Altos,
Okay.
which is near me. I'm like in the South Bay area of San Francisco.
Do you have a lot of yarn stores, or are you pretty limited to local yarn stores in your area?
There's two.
Okay.
Yeah, which is nice that there's like a choice. So there's the one in Los Altos, and then there's one in San Jose. So both of them are about 20 minutes from where I live. I'm kind of in the middle of the two.
Okay.
And I don't know beyond that range, like how far away the next closest one is, but that's been nice that I kind of have a little bit of variation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I went to the one in Los Altos, Uncommon Threads, and I got this. It's by Forbidden Fiber Co. They had
I follow them on Instagram.
Oh, really? Okay. I don't know if I do, but they had lots of beautiful colorways, so I think I need to follow them. But this is the colorway I got.
That's gorgeous.
Called Time Turner, so part of their like Harry Potter collection of some sort.
Right.
But yeah, it's just seemed really fun because it's like this cream with like pops of magenta and teal and like even a little bit of like this mustardy color. So I don't know, it just looked really fun and different than what I have, and so kind of a buy, but I wanted to buy that. So it'll become a pair of socks eventually. Probably not anytime soon, just because I have lots of sock yarn in my queue already. So there's that. That was my yarn purchase today. And then I thought it'd be fun to share. Sorella Yarn did her like sale for her summers, trying to get her summer stock out of the way for fall tonals, which are beautiful. Oh my goodness. But I bought some Golden Peach yarn, and I was trying to decide between fingering weight or DK weight for making socks because I'm just on a sock kick. And I was like, fingering weight makes more sense, like summery socks, but I really want to make DK socks because of like Kay's new pattern. And I was like, I really want a pair of cozy socks, but I thought it might be weird in this color to have like really thick cozy socks. So that's why I was kind of conflicted. And then I took so long trying to decide that the fingering and the DK sold out. So then I panic bought a skein of worsted. I really wanted it, and I was like, oh no, like I need to buy like what I can. So I bought one skein, and I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it, but I love this color. So maybe I can figure out something. But
yeah, that was my favorite tonal of their summer. I mean, Sorella Yarn has been like I didn't buy from the Taylor Swift collection, but I think that dyer and Red Door Fiber Studios, like pretty much every collection they've released has been absolute gold, and I'm just like, stop.
Yeah, you're taking all my money. Yeah, so good, so good. Oh my goodness. And then I guess my last acquisition I wanted to share, shout out to my husband, but he made me a yarn bowl.
Cute. Is that the 3D printing?
Uh-huh. Yeah, he 3D printed it. And the little like swirly didn't turn out great, but it still works. It's beautiful, like light blue
That's
color. So
awesome.
yeah, it just finished today because it took like 14 hours to print, which is crazy. But yeah, so now I have a cool yarn bowl. I'm excited to like use it for a project. Maybe I'll use it with this.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's perfect.
So I'm excited. I've wanted a yarn bowl for a while, so I'm really glad I have one now. So that's kind of like my recent acquisitions from all over the place. I'm waiting for yarn to come in the mail from quite a few people right now, but
Yes. In fact, Red Door Fiber Studios, she just did her ACOTAR
oh yeah,
collection, and I was very good and planned what I'm gonna do, and I bought 2 skeins and a pin, and I lucked out, and she'd already had that dyed up, so my yarn is actually on the way because
oh my
she
gosh.
keeps joking about how if she doesn't get any help, she's gonna be dyeing the same collection into 2022
Oh my
because they
goodness.
just absolutely like obliterated every goal she's had. So
Oh, that's awesome.
I it will be here much sooner than I thought it would.
That no, you lucked out too. You picked the right colors. That's so cool. I'm waiting for Sorella's Taylor Swift collection. But
Mm-hmm.
they're all done dyeing, so now they're just like
Yeah,
packaging orders. So mine should be
we're
coming
getting
in
close.
soon. But I've got like 4 different colorways, so mine won't be one of the first ones out because I just grabbed
Yeah,
like random skeins of different colors. So waiting on that. Those will be socks
that
because
was such a pretty collection.
yeah, oh my goodness, and like I've always been a Taylor Swift fan, and so I guess they just hit a little different. But I made sure to get colors I actually wanted to wear, not just like based on the names. So I got some All Too Well because it was just like this beautiful like magenta, but like from like really pale to like really deep color, like just so much variation. And I heard that Taylor Swift's coming out with like a 10-minute long version of that song like in November
Wow.
when like her album releases, like her re-release of her album. And so I'm like, okay, well now I have to make that yarn into socks to wear when I listen to her album. And then I've got I can't remember the colors, like was it like cardigan and then ivy, so like a cream and like a dark green to make some Christmas tree socks. Because there's like a color
Cute.
work Christmas tree pattern that I really liked. So couple socks in the queue. I've got Treehouse knits on the way. Their Coco collection that was stunning.
Right, I remember you sharing about that. Oh my gosh, I mean, I can't.
I need to just like cut off from social media so I don't like get influenced to buy anything else. Oh my goodness. So you have the Akotar collection coming. Anything else on the way that you're looking forward to?
Trying to think. I don't think so. I think I'm pretty caught up. Oh no, actually, I lied. I ordered for the first time from Hobie. I
Okay.
keep hearing about them, but the pattern that I actually want to make with the ACOTAR yarn, it's the one that I talked about earlier where it will use mohair. And so I ordered some Diablo because I've heard that that was a really good mohair. And then they had some Zafira yarn that they're discontinuing, so they had a massive sale on it. I mean, they were having really good sales anyway.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, I'm already here.
You got a big haul.
Yeah, so there's like 10 skeins of that coming, but it works out because I'm going to use it for, um, I think I decided it was going to be the Cinnabar sweater
Okay.
by Maven Crafted.
Hmm.
Um, it's been in my queue for a while, but I hadn't bought yarn for it yet, so I figured it's a safe purchase. Like, I have a plan.
Yeah, if you have a plan, go for it. Awesome.
So, but that's it for now.
Way to go. I'm like trying to remember if there's anything else I have. I think it's really just those 2 batches of like sock yarns coming my way. And then I really want to buy some yarn for like a sweater. Like I want to try like a mohair and DK together sweater, like maybe like the Sunday sweater or like the no frill sweater by Petite Knits. So I need to start soon because knitting takes me a lot longer. But I need to find, I think I'm gonna go for like a really deep green, like a pine, like an almost black green, I think. Because then I could wear that for the fall and for the like winter,
Yeah.
I think. But I need to find like the perfect yarn for that. So maybe Fiber for the People. I'm not sure. They have like an indoor color that's really pretty close. But I mean, to buy mohair and DK for like a sweater quantity, that's like a lot of yarn all at once. So maybe that'll be my birthday present because my birthday's in November. So who knows?
Yeah, me too.
No
When's
way.
yours?
The 19th.
Mine is the 26th.
Oh, we're like a week apart. So fun. Yeah. So normally, I mean, I'm used to having like birthmas presents, like that count for both birthday and Christmas. So we'll see. Maybe a sweater quantity of yarn will be an easy gift from my husband to me through my wallet.
Right? Yeah, that's always a good way to go. Because
Yeah.
then you get exactly what you want too. So
Yeah, that's kind of how we've been doing things. I mean, we've been married for almost 4 years now, so we're just kind of open. We're like, oh, what do you want? Okay, let's get it for you. And he got a 3D printer for his birthday. We got it for him like 3 weeks ahead of time because he picked out the one he wanted, and we're like, well, might as well. Like, what's the point waiting for your birthday if we already know, that's what you're gonna get? So.
that's awesome. The little like cat stitch markers that you showed a while back, those are so cute.
They are really cute. I haven't really enjoyed using them as like progress keepers, like to like knit beyond, but they work well for like slipping them on your needles for like marking a place that way. But most of the patterns I make don't include that.
Yeah.
Like don't need that kind of a marker because I'm still pretty basic and simple with my knitting. So I'll hang on to them for later because I'm sure I'll use them. But they are really cute.
They're super cute.
And they took like 10 minutes to print. So they were super fun. Quick make. Yeah. Well, it looks like we're about at an hour.
Oh my gosh, already?
Uh-huh. This has been so fun. And yeah, I don't want to like have it cut off all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But I guess if there's any like last minute questions or comments from anyone who's watching, or I guess if you have a question for me, Jess, I don't have any questions for you. Thanks for sharing. It's been awesome.
Yeah, this was so much fun. It makes me realize that I need to invest in a better tripod though. I have my phone sitting on a stack of books right now because it doesn't like to support the weight of my phone. So Claire would do this tilting thing, setting up for live. I'm like, dang it, I gotta figure out a way to make this work.
Oh, that's funny. I have they have like a little, like a ring light photo, like a phone ring light holder thing that I got from the Target Dollar Spot like a month or two ago.
Do you like it?
I do. I mean, for like $3 or $5 or whatever it was, like totally worth it. Great for lives. It's only like this tall, so I can't really do anything else with it other than like a video like this. So it works for what I've got it for, but I definitely need more equipment for the YouTube thing to make that work better because the systems I got don't work very well. So
hack it.
Yeah, got to figure it out. So yeah, well, thanks for joining me on this live podcast. This has been super fun. Every time I watch your podcast, I have like a gajillion things I want to say, like, and I mean, I guess I could like comment like 10 times on your video, like every time I want to say something, but this is just so fun to be able to actually like talk back and forth and like share,
like interact with a person.
Yeah, it's been so fun.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for everyone who's joined in the live to watch. This has been fun. Knowing that we're not alone here too. It's been kind of fun to share that way. But yeah, so thanks for joining me, and we shall talk again very soon, I'm sure. But yeah, bye. How do I close? Oh, dang it. How do I close this? Figuring it out. Oh, there we go. Bye.